Alright, I am back with another box opening, and this is about to be awesome. We're going to do Theros Beyond Death, full box. Let's see, we did Core 2021 already, and we did, I don't remember. All these days are starting to blur together. Let's go ahead and crack this one open. So it seems like some of the chase cards would be a couple of these Elder Titans. Croxa, the Titan of Death's Hunger, and Euro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. And there's a couple of the gods that have a little bit of value. Like almost 20 cards that have at least $10 value or more. So this seems to be a pretty good box. Let's see if we pull off anything good. Alright, so we got Gravebreaker Lamia, Enchantment Creature, Snake Lamia. Lifelink, when Gravebreaker Lamia enters the battlefield, search your library for a card, put it into your graveyard, then shuffle your library. Spells you cast from your graveyard cost 1 less to cast. Alright. And we got a foil, Legendary Creature too. Uncommon. Eutropia, the Trice Favored. We got our forest, a land, ooh, and that's pretty. And then our token. Alright, let's just keep going. Alright, so what's your guys' favorite card in this set? Uh-oh. I think we got something good in this one, maybe. Alright. Thrix, the Sudden Storm, Legendary Creature, Elemental Giant, Flash, Flying. Spells you cast with converted mana cost 5 or greater, cost 1 less to cast, and can't be countered. That's pretty nice. Alright, so Renata, Call to the Hunt. Looks like this is one of the signature cards. Foil. Legendary Enchantment Creature, Demigod. Very pretty. And then the Swamp. I'm really digging these lands. I don't know why Magic didn't do these a while back, because showing the symbol of what they represent in the artwork is pretty cool. A couple of the uncommons. Let's see. Bronzehide Lion. 1 green, 1 white. Bronzehide Lion gains indestructible until end of turn. When Bronzehide Lion dies, return it to the battlefield. It's an aura enchantment with enchant creature you control, and green plus white enchanted creature gains indestructible until end of turn. Alright, not too terrible. Maybe draft playable, maybe deck buildable. I mean, he is pretty cheap. Actually, he's really cheap for a 3/3. Is he seeing any standard play right now? Again, if you haven't been paying attention, I've been out of loop. Have not played in quite some time. Alright, our rare for this one is Shatter the Sky. Each player who controls a creature with power 4 or greater draws a card, then destroys all creatures. Alright. Loving these lands. Don't mind getting 1 or 2 of those foiled. Alright, so we got Terranica, a Crone Veteran, Legendary Creature, Human Soldier, Vigilance. Whenever Terranica, a Crone Veteran, attacks, untap another target creature you control. Until end of turn, that creature has base power and toughness 4/4 and gains indestructible. And essentially is given Vigilance. And he's only 3. Okay. Storm's Wrath. Storm's Wrath deals 4 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. Alright. Mini board control. Pretty much a Wrath effect. And we got a god. Perforos Bronze-Blooded. Legendary enchantment creature. God. Indestructible. As long as your devotion to red is less than 5, Perforos isn't a creature. Other creatures you control have haste. 1 red, 2 colorless. You may put a red creature card or an artifact creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. Sacrifice it at the beginning of your next end step. I wonder if blink effects would get around that. It's an interesting concept. Alright. Land. We all know I love my lands. Labyrinth of Scophos. Tap, add 1 colorless. 4, tap, remove target attacking or blocking creature from combat. Alright, then we got a foil common, Grim Physician, Plains, another token, Human Soldier. How we doing here, guys? Well, we did get one of the gods, not one of the preferred ones, but we got one. Nyx Bloom Ancient. I think this is one of the better cards, like a $20 card or so. If you tap a permanent for mana, it produces 3 times as much of that mana instead. Okay, makes sense. Alright. So the Nyx Bloom Ancient. Well, the alternate art version of it is like $30. The regular. Here we go. Alright. Now, I know this one isn't worth very much, but I do like my Planeswalkers, and this is the full, or the extended art version of Ashiok Nightmare Muse. Legendary Planeswalker, Ashiok. +1, create a 2/3 blue and black creature token with whenever this creature attacks or blocks, each opponent exiles the top 2 cards of their library. Alright, mill effect. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, and that player exiles it from their hand. Exiles a card from their hand. That's a -3. -7, you may cast up to 3 face-up cards your opponents own from exile without paying their mana cost. Alright. Very beautiful card. Let me show you that to you guys if you haven't seen it yet, which I'm sure you guys all have. Very beautiful card. I'd like to get that in foil. That would be pretty sick. I wish the Ashiok was worth a little bit more. I think that card's only like $3. Shadow Spear. I think this is another one of the good cards. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has trample and lifelink. 1. Colorless. Permanents your opponents control lose hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Equip cost is 2. Alright. So it gets rid of effects. So it's a good way to get it. In essence, it's a god killer. I should have called it the God Spear or something. Alright, I think there's a pretty card in here too. Alright. Kunoros, Hound of Athreos. Legendary creature, Hound. Vigilance, Menace, and Lifelink. Creature cards in graveyards can't enter the battlefield. Players can't cast spells from graveyards. Alright. Then we got a rare foil, Gallia of the Endless Dance. Legendary creature, Satire. Haste. Other satires you control get +1/+1 and have haste. Whenever you attack with 3 or more creatures, you may discard a card at random. If you do, draw 2 cards. Love that. Love that. Treacherous Blessing. Whenever Treacherous Blessing enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards. Whenever you cast a spell, you lose 1 life. Whenever Treacherous Blessing becomes the target of a spell or an ability, sacrifice it. Alright, so kind of like a phantom card. got a pretty one here too. Idyllic Tutor. Is this one of the good cards? Maybe. It's a tutor. Search your library for an enchantment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library for 3. So it's a 3-cost tutor, sorcery speed for enchantments. Revoke existence foil. Alright, ripping along. Cruising through. Alright, we got Temple of Malice. I'm sure you guys all know what that is. Enters the battlefield tapped. When it enters, you get to scry and taps for black or red. Okay, I think we have a pretty here too. Alright. Allure of the Unknown. Reveal the top 6 cards of your library, and if an opponent exiles a non-land card from among them, then you put the rest into your hand. That opponent may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost. Ooh, that is scary. Could be quite fun. You're getting 5 cards. And then we got another rare foil. Ephemia the Cacophony. Legendary enchantment creature Harpy. Flying. At the beginning of your instep, you may exile an enchantment card from your graveyard. If you do, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Ripping through. Still hoping to get Euro or Croxa. Any more of the gods would be nice. Oh, I thought I had something fancy there. I had a little piece of foil from the pack on the card. I was like, wait a minute. I got some fancy foliage, but no. Alright. Haktos the Unscarred. Legendary creature, human warrior. Haktos the Unscarred attacks each combat if able. If Haktos enters the battlefield, choose 2, 3, or 4 at random. Haktos has protection from each converted mana cost other than the chosen number. And it's chosen at random. Alright. Trying to figure out how he might be playable. Elspeth's Conquers Death. As the Sega enters the battlefield, you draw after your draw step and add a lore counter. Sacrifice after 3. Exile target permanent and opponent controls with converted mana cost 3 or greater. 2. Non-creature spells your opponent cast cost 2 more to cast until the next turn. Return target creature or planeswalker card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Put a +1 counter on it or a loyalty counter. And that is pretty. Got a foil version of the islands. It's pretty dope. I'm a huge fan of these lands. How do you guys feel about these lands? I like them. It's kind of like representing your. And then we got a Ephemia the Cacophony again, a non-foil version. We're, I think, approaching about halfway on this box. I'm just shredding this packs. Protean Thaumaturge. Creature, human wizard, constellation. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, you may have Protean Thaumaturge become a copy of another target creature, except it has this ability. Okay. Alright. Some enchantment entering shenanigans, copying, doppelganger-ish kind of stuff. Oh, interesting. Still hoping to get one of these bombs. I mean, I'm still pretty stoked about that $3 Planeswalker, but. Alright, Storm Herald. Haste. When Storm Herald enters the battlefield, return any number of aura cards from your graveyard to the battlefield attached to creatures you control. Exile those auras at the beginning of your next instep. If those auras would leave the battlefield, exile them instead, putting them anywhere else. So no shenanigans once the aura is entered. You can't return them to your hand. Alright. The first Iroan games. 1. Create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. 2. Put 3+1/+1 counters on target creature you control. 3. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw 2 cards. 4. Create a gold token. Keep looking on through. Alright, Wave Break Hippocamp. Whenever you cast your first spell during each opponent's turn, draw a card. Alright. So, good for them instant decks whenever you cast your first spell on your opponent's turn. You can't just abuse it. A little card draw advantage. Can't complain. Well, we got a foilie coming up here. Eidolon of Obstruction. Enchantment creature, spirit, first strike, loyalty, abilities of Planeswalker. Your opponent control cost 1 more to activate. Cost 1 colorless more to activate. Daxos, Blessed by the Sun. Legendary enchantment creature, demigod, uncommon, pretty foil. Alright. Ripping on through. Citizen Champion. Creature, human, warrior, constellation. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Citizen Champion and draw a card. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control. Alright, another enchantment based build, and she seems like she could get pretty burly pretty quick. And you're getting card draw advantage. I think I like her. Alright, Temple of Abandon, we love it. There we go. Pretty foil mountain. That was a quick paint. So I really like the original Theros. Original Theros didn't have the temples, did it? Flying Lifelink. We got Dream Trawler. Flying Lifelink. Whenever you draw a card, Dream Trawler gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Whenever Dream Trawler attacks, draw a card. Discard a card. Dream Trawler gains hexproof until end of turn. Tap it. Alright, Thassa's Intervention. 2 blue plus X. Instant. Choose one. Look at the top X cards of your library. Put up to 2 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Or counter target spell unless its controller pays twice X. Alright. I like utility cards. I don't know if it's quite cryptic command good, but you know, it's definitely solid. I mean, X costs get a little shenanigan-y. Nyx Lotus. I think this is like a $10 card. I think it's very pretty though. Nyx Lotus enters the battlefield tapped. Tap, choose a color, add an amount of mana of that color equal to your devotion to that color. Okay, liking him. Hateful Eidolon, uncommon foil. Beautiful. Beautiful. We're getting there. A few packs to go. Got us another foil in here. Nylea's Intervention. Choose one. Search your library for up to X land cards. Reveal them. Put them into your hand. Shuffle your library. Okay. Nylea's Intervention deals twice X damage to each creature with flying. Alright. Sounds very green. Thirst for Meaning. Foil. Phoenix of Ash. Flying Haste. 2 colors in red. Phoenix of Ash gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Escape. 2 colorless, 2 red. Exile 3 other cards from your graveyard. You may cast this card from your graveyard for its escape cost. Phoenix of Ash escapes with a +1/+1 counter on it. Alright. I'm not sure how too much about this escape mechanic. Have to do a little research on that. Might be fun. So let's see. Temple of Deceit. Got us a foil. Scophos Maze Warden. Uncommon. 4 more packs to go. We're still looking for one of the 2 bombs. I'd like to see one of them elder giants pop his head. Alright. Perforos Intervention. Choose one. Create X1. Create an X1 elemental creature token with trample and haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Perforos Intervention deals twice X damage to target creature or planeswalker. Okay. Then we got a foil Citizen's Training. 3 more packs to go. Can we get one of the bombs here at the end? Ox of Agonis. This is a mythic. When Ox of Agonis enters the battlefield, discard your hand, then draw 3 cards. Escape for 2 red. Exile 8 other cards from your graveyard. Ox of Agonis escapes with a +1/+1 counter on it. Doesn't have haste though, but still pretty beat stick. His escape cost is pretty solid. So I guess if you had like 7 mana and 2 of these guys in your hand, you could discard one with discarding your hand and then escape him into play with 2 pretty solid bombs. Alright, Erebos Intervention. I think we got almost all the interventions. What are we missing? Did we get Thassa's? Alright, target creature gets -X till end of turn where you gain X life. Exile up to twice X cards from graveyards. Alright. Graveyard Hate. Instant Speed. And then we got Atris, Oracle of Half-Truths. Legendary creature, human advisor. Menace. When Atris, Oracle of Half-Truths enters the battlefield, target opponent looks at the top 3 cards of your library and separates them into a face-down pile and a face-up pile. Put 1 pile in your hand. Put the other into the graveyard. Alright, so I think that's it. Foils. I mean, got a lot of pretty foils. A couple of lands in there. A couple rares. I don't know if any of these guys are any good. But we'll do some research on that, or you can hit me up in the comments below and tell me how I'm an idiot and I overlooked something. A couple of lands, which I love. I know Nyx Lotus was pretty decent. What else we got in here? I like the Idyllic Tutor. I don't know what kind of value it's holding. I'm a huge fan of this Ashiok, just because I have a nice little Planeswalker collection. That's going to go in there. This Nyx Bloom Ancient, though, I think is probably the best pull for me. I don't know where Perforos stands. I think I only got 1 god. But yeah, and then I did get the 2 foil lands. I got a mountain and an island, which those are some beautiful lands. Alright, so thank you guys so much. I still got 6 more boxes to open and film for you guys. If you like this, please hit the like and subscribe button. Go ahead and hit me up in the comments. Tell me how I'm an idiot about some of this stuff and didn't inform me on what I should have. There's something you like in here, go ahead and, you know, plug me and say, hey, that was pretty cool. I appreciate the time. What else we got? So yeah, 6 more boxes. Yeah, so 7 more videos coming. I got 1 more to upload right now. And yeah, if there's something you want to see me open that's not here, hit me up in the comments and say, hey, could you go acquire this and open that for us and see what's going on. I don't have like alpha money, but you know, maybe we can get us some older content. Or maybe you want to see me open a case of Kaldheim or Commander Legends or a couple more boxes of Ikoria. Whatever the case is, just hit me up, let me know. I appreciate you guys. You have been awesome. Thank you. You guys have a great day.